Hi, let's head over to Facebook. Why don't you tell everyone about how awesome it is that you put your lipstick on to be fancy?
I put my lipstick on to be fancy. I was like, at some point today, I thought I did a video on Instagram about performative Zoom and how I'm tired of looking at my own face, and how today I did most of my calls with the camera off, and it was a game changer. Although I do like when we do our coaching calls with the camera on, but it's been a year of staring at our own faces, and I think that's really interesting.
Can I just say though, I'm a little bit disappointed that the Zoom touch up my face doesn't apply to real life.
Oh, I'm like, just can we equip everyone with contact lenses and I get to decide how you see me moving forward? Tech contact lenses. One of the things that came up was I was going back and forth on Twitter with a writer I really love, Anne Helen Peterson, does a newsletter twice a week, and she's just this amazing journalist. And I'm trying to find her video. Did you start it?
No, I'm just writing pandemic slowed down because that's what we're going to talk about.
Oh, okay. So I was talking to Anne Helen Peterson on Twitter about like this performative Zoom, which I'm doing right now.
You're doing right now. I'm like type. I can't see the people are seeing me. Hold on, go live, and we are live.
Oh, we are live. So will people see what we said before you said we are live?
No. I just realized that now. Oh, but we're recording though, so they might see it somewhere.
Okay, so if you watch this later on YouTube or something else, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was talking about performative Zoom, and like I did do my face for all of you because, you know, my mother's always in my head. Just put on your lipstick and a smile and it will all be okay.
You did something we want to talk about today, but I kind of feel like I should put on lipstick for this conversation.
Okay, go for it and I'll entertain the troops. Yeah, so performative Zoom. So today I did all my calls. Because we're going to talk about pace, and I want to talk about how I've been honoring my pace in a way that as a person with ADHD, I haven't been able to embrace in the past, and where the fine line is on that, because you can go too far the other way. But you know, like this morning, my cat's been unwell for 4 months, and this morning she jumped on me at like 8 a.m. I was still in bed, which we can do now that we're not commuting. It's a choice you can make. And so she jumped on me and purred until I fell back asleep, which I had a 9 a.m. meeting. I decided to do my 9 a.m. meeting in my sleep clothes with no makeup and not do my hair with the camera off.
Can we just pause right here?
Yeah.
What happens in Kickstartology community stays in Kickstartology community. Go on.
So I did that, and then I was having this conversation. Oh wait, I need to mute this. Sorry. Okay, I need to be able to see comments without hearing myself talk. So I had this back and forth with Anne Helen Peterson, who is a journalist in the US who's been covering extensively work from home, capitalist culture, the expectations on productivity, lots of different angles that she shared, just beautiful. And so she was talking about how much we've been staring at our own faces. And I said, wow, I just had a day where I had the camera off. It's unnatural for me. I almost always put my makeup on, do my hair. And I said, you know, I felt really tired today of performative Zooming. And she said, yeah, it's a lot of like noticing how much weird faces you make. And I said, typically as a media person, when I do a TV appearance, I always watch it after because that's how I get better. And even when we do these things, I watch them after because that's how I get better. But usually when you do TV or something, you watch it after and you notice all your weird faces. And now with all this video calling all the time, you notice your weird faces all the time. It's not after, it's during. And so we're constantly have this, whether you're conscious of it or not, you are judging yourself constantly all day long. How is my hair? How is my face? Did I roll my eyes when my colleague said that thing? It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. But yes, I did put my lipstick on for this call. That was a super long answer to your initial comment.
That's okay.
Hello, Alison Hunt.
Hello, Alison Hunt. Oh, yay. But here's my thing, though. I've got a question. Everywhere and I mean, like I don't like saying that, but in the zeitgeist, one of the things that's being said a lot is the slow down pace of the pandemic. Everything is slowed down. Yet, I have yet to hear somebody be like, I feel so well rested.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know there are these little moments where it's like, that was maybe a relaxing evening, or it's relaxing right now. It's kind of relaxing that I don't feel guilty about not going out. I'm going to have a cleaning binge after this. I've started it. I've already done the vacuum. Yeah, I'm pretty hot.
Hot Friday night
Hot
at the
Friday night,
Marshall household.
cleaning binge. Possibly there will be food ordered. I'm just gonna tell the boyfriend he's in charge of dinner, and but tell him no steak, because yeah. And
You love cows.
I wish I was more of a vegetarian than I am, but let's be honest. But anyway, but so I'm gonna. But here's the thing. So I'm relaxed. Nights can be relaxing, and I'm really happy. And I don't even have to be like, because we're going out tomorrow and I have to, right? Not stuff. So I don't mind that. But part of the reason it's like relief. I'm not like, oh, look at me in my leisurely, slowed down COVID world. If anything, I'm exhausted. And part of me is like, can we get back to normal so I can rest? But then I realized it's just life. So I don't know. All this talk about slowing down, it has changed our rhythms. But is it actually slowed down?
So on one hand, everyone I talk to is saying they're working longer because there are fewer boundaries between work and home. So you feel like, oh, let me just answer that one more email, and you're not rushing to catch a train or, to get kids from daycare at the same pace. So there is this space now that we feel with
kids
work.
are a lot of work. Can I just say, biggest pandemic gratitude is that I don't have children.
See, and for me, before I started having regular skin to skin contact with a man, I was really grateful. That's going to actually sound creepy, but I was really grateful to have children because I needed hugs. I'm a high hugs person. I need a lot of hugs. And so I was like, greatest thing I did was having kids, even though they're exhausting.
Yeah. But but I don't hear you going, wow, I'm so rested. I hear you saying, oh, I've gotten some of my habits better order.
Yeah.
Not because you're like rested and like slow down. And Camille says, steak it is. Yeah, I should probably like text him right now and say something. But yeah.
I don't necessarily feel more rested, but I feel a lot calmer without the hustle and bustle of trying to be somewhere all the time. And I am starting to, as a person with ADHD, you spend a lot of your life apologizing for your ADHD traits. And what's been nice in this world right now is, okay, if I'm 3 minutes late for a Zoom, it's not great, but I'm not going to apologize for it. It's just like, I'm probably going to be 3 minutes late for the Zoom. I mean, I often start those Zooms saying it's going to be on my epitaph, Nadine Araxi was 3 minutes late for every Zoom. I don't know. It's what I'm noticing is that I have a rhythm that I didn't have in the before times. Like I have a rhythm to my week. I have a co-parenting schedule with my ex, something I wasn't able to establish before.
So you've got more of a rhythm. So, yeah, but it's not more like relaxed. Do you see why I'm vaguely irritated once I started thinking it through though? Just because it would imply that we're all like, look at me, all relaxed and chill.
Oh, yeah, no, there's
nobody is saying that. Like, there are parts that are nice again, but I guess it's like on one side, they're saying this slow down pace, it's not going to last forever. And by the way, hashtag privilege, working from home, all that, totally.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas other people, no, it's 10 times worse. But on the flip side of that, honestly, I think there have been 2 people, and that was probably in the first 2 months, who were saying, yeah, it's like really nice to have like not go out. Secretly, it's nice. Because like there has been a lot like, you know what, I've actually liked this and I've liked that. But it's not like, yeah, I don't. But
don't you feel like there's less pressure right now? Because there are fewer decisions you have to make about where you have to be. Like, isn't there something relaxing about that somewhat? not to mention, no one knows if I'm wearing pants right now. Like,
Okay, you're
is
talking
it
about
that
skin
relaxing?
contact, then you're talking about wearing pants. Like, I see a theme.
I see a theme, but back to pace. I think like for me, as someone who was, I'm a media professional. I'm out a lot in the before times. I'm going to openings and awards and this feeling like you have to be seen. Plus I like dance floors, I like parties. I'm a social creature. For
I really
me,
miss clubbing. No, I'm joking.
yeah, I super miss clubbing. Like
Yeah,
I do.
you know me, I'm not like an in the club girl. I just found out that hip dancing, you keep your fists shut. Thank you, Allison Hunt, who taught me that, not open. So like, I'm ready to learn, but no.
I I like, so for me, I never thought I would embrace this the way that I have, but by taking away the abundance of choice, I actually like by limiting my choices,
But what
I don't,
about
relaxing.
okay, yes. But here's my thing is I kind of agree with that. But then it's like technically in some ways, like, family Zoom on Christmas. Like we have sisters on the call, Emily and Camille. I missed you guys at Christmas so much. But I didn't really have to go, what am I going to wear tonight for the Zoom? Much. Although I'm sure Camille had a really nice dress on and with a bow. And so like, but at the same time, it's like, oh, are we eating during the Zoom, before, after? Like, again, to bring indecision fatigue, because there were more decisions to be made in different ways. I think that counterbalances it. And it's part of the reason I was happy not to go out much, because sometimes I'm tired. So part of what I find, like, it's weird because part of me thinks it'll be relaxing to not have to worry, to just sort of have life again. But now it's not going to be suddenly boom one day. And that would feel now weird because I mean, I went to the dentist and they're like, you can take your mask off. And I felt like a freaking criminal.
This is why I haven't gone to the dentist in over a year. I had a very come to Jesus moment with floss earlier this week.
Yeah, we're not going to get into your flossing details, but like, do you see what I mean? So I don't know. So like Emily, Camille, if you guys are still listening, Amen. Do you feel like rested though, or is it just kind of like that sloth, which isn't actually relaxing, right? Because sometimes that's been my thing, is like sometimes it felt like, yeah, I haven't moved my butt as much as normal, but it's been more, it's not rested and fresh and ready to jump out. That
I
different.
get that. I think like even the biggest introverts do get some energy from people, although introversion, like you often have, people can be draining, right?
Yeah.
But I think we didn't realize how much we needed each other, that we're constantly bouncing energy off of each other. And with the screen between us, it's exhausting. Plus the never-ending news cycle, plus. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of new things that we're constantly having to process. Remember a year ago, we were talking about how exhausting it was to walk outside because suddenly you were like playing Frogger and like dodging, sorry, so 80s of a reference, but like dodging people, and like you were constantly calculating your next move on the street, whereas you used to just walk down the sidewalk and you wouldn't even think about it. That wasn't a conscious thought you were having.
Right. Whereas to now it's just the mask part's easy. And by the way, the 80s effort, like I just had thought of Emily with her, by the way, promo for the Old Millennials podcast is great. And I was just laughing going, this is the old Gen Xers. Let's talk about Proverbs.
I did send Emily's podcast to a group of friends today because we had this conversation. Imon says, sloth, which has lots of rest and yet exhausted.
Yeah.
Emily says, I will say that as a single person living alone, I didn't realize the choice I made to live alone had so much to do with the knowledge that I can see friends whenever I needed connection. That's a big thing too.
Yeah. Because, yeah. And then
we're all living in the choices that we made. Like we're living with the choices that we made and the decisions that we made until this started, right? And then we've been able to make a series of decisions since then. But can
I bring it back to coaching here?
Sure.
In a big way. One of the things I like to do is have people literally like look around and say that a lot of what's around you is a culmination of decisions you've made. And the great part in that is going, oh, I get to say where I'm going to be, a year down the line by the decisions I make today. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. You think of where you were a year ago and how you felt about things and how afraid you might have felt or how uncertain, and we're getting used to things, right? And now it's feeling like there's a bit of room, if you are able to bring up the energy to do so, to focus on what could this be like on the other side, right? So I always talk about the tunnel, and I always talk about, stress, feelings like have a beginning, a middle, and an end. I don't always, this is a fairly recent discovery for me, I should caveat that. But feelings have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And often when we're feeling stuck or we're feeling burnt out or stressed, we're stuck in the middle of a feeling or a series of thoughts that create that feeling. And it takes one little move and one little, opening yourself to possibility to start to move towards the end of the tunnel, towards the light. And I think right now we're at a point where we're probably a little bit still stuck, a lot of us, because it's heavy. It's a year of it. There's new things. The vaccines are coming. They're not coming. It depends where you live. It's tough, but spring is here in Canada, and I feel like spring is so much about hope. Spring is so much about the light at the end of the tunnel. We literally have come out of the darkness.
And we just hold up a first person sign because I get excited about the fall.
I also get excited about the fall. But are you saying you haven't felt this last
few weeks in the spring, but I don't feel more like that in the spring than in the fall. In fact, the fall for some reason gets me more like.
Oh, it's so funny. I really enjoy the fall, but I'm always conscious in the fall that the darkness is coming. And so I'm bracing myself for that a little bit. Whereas like now I'm a July baby, you're a December baby. Maybe that has something to do with that. Like I'm like, it's almost Cancer season. Yeah. Literally, I feel like when the summer solstice hits on June 21st, I feel like I go to like full power bars. Like I get my full charge for like a whole month.
Really?
Every year I feel like that.
I get a little irritated in the spring because I'm like, I don't know how to do this stuff. What do I wear? I'm like, this is stupid about the clothing, but I don't know. That's a whole other poll and question. But I do want to say, I'm tired. Can you tell a little bit? Like talk about
you are tired.
Yeah,
I'm sorry you're feeling like that.
That's okay. I mean, it's for a good reason. I've been working hard and excited and for stuff I love, and I'm going to take some time to rest this weekend because I'm going to pace myself better. I guess that's part of why I'm thinking everyone's talking about this freaking slowed down pace. What slowed down pace?
Yeah, well, you're building a business in a time where people really need someone who can help them see things the way you can. And so, yeah, I think it's for all of us, you teach energy management, isn't it that a little bit? It's like figuring out what your limits are, right? Even though you want to
like listen to your own story. Don't get caught up in the story in the magazine all the time about how your energy is.
What do you mean?
Everyone's slowed down, everyone's stressed, everyone's this, everyone's feeling.
Oh yeah, the everyone hyperbole.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like, I think that's part of what was rubbing me the wrong way thinking about it, is I'm just like, no, it's just sometimes I feel more energetic, sometimes less, but it's different, and there are different stressors, and there are different points of ease.
Mm-hmm.
And I've felt all of the things. It's just, yes, it's definitely different than before, but it's not one thing. It's just a collection of all different things. So a lot of, I guess I get irritated by people making assumptions about how things are for everyone because God, and I coach people every day. Everyone's different.
Everyone is different. I think like it comes down to what we teach in coaching is really about observing yourself, observing your mind, your thoughts, your feelings, how does it feel in your body, your behaviors. So it's a lot of observation, right? And just like, there's an intuitive way of living. They talk about intuitive eating is like trendy right now. Intuitive sleeping, whatever. You have a physical body that allows you to have this human experience. Yeah.
Yes. And that's like that. They've been talking about that for years everywhere.
Yeah.
But that to me is like, hey, you should go work out. You'll feel more energized. It's like, yeah, no shit. Eat
No,
when I'm hungry.
I don't,
It's hard. Like, yeah, sure, sleep when you're tired. But some of us literally avoid sleep when we're tired. So that's the entire problem.
Yeah, but isn't it about watching it? Isn't it about starting to notice it? I think that's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think with pace,
it makes it sound like, hey, just start listening, and when you're tired, go to sleep.
Oh yeah, no. It definitely takes practice. I think. Yeah, go ahead. You have opinions.
No, I think we're kind of making the points, but I have something fun to end it with that's like a little bit to the side of this. Before we go around in too many circles.
Okay.
Or do you have a different point that's new to make?
I was just gonna say, I lost my train of thought now. Go ahead. It's fine. I'll come back to it.
This is us when we're tired. We're like, just like, don't interrupt each other.
No, you know what it is? It's for me. So for me, I can only speak from my own experience. So as I'm studying burnout, as I'm studying stress response, the stress response cycle, and I'm noticing when those things, when I feel depleted, when I feel energized, there is something to honoring my chronotype as a night owl and my pace as someone with ADHD who sometimes goes super fast and other times cannot go super fast. And so I just find for me, noticing that has allowed me to be more forgiving of myself and just honoring myself where I show up that day, knowing that however I am in the morning is not going to be how I'm going to be in the afternoon necessarily. And just like, I think they call it flow. I don't know. It's like, I'm going with the flow a bit more lately. Okay. And that's working for me. That's all I wanted to say. Okay. I'm sorry if it makes you mad.
Oh, that doesn't make me mad. That's fine. Yeah.
I can't help the magazine editor in me sometimes is irritating.
Well, I prefer your stories to you. So I guess I'm the fun person because I literally have a lampshade on my head, but okay, what is this? It's a lampshade. So I ordered this lamp online because it looked really cute, and I'm going to put it up on the wall beside my bed. So it doesn't have to be on my small night table, which doesn't have much room. So I'll more easily have my book and my alarm clock and my ADD pill because I have a whole system to make sure I take it and only one and know if I've taken it. So, but here's the thing. We all know I'm not so good at DIY stuff.
Do we?
The lamp came like.
Is that a bit hyperbolic? Do we all know, Stephanie? First person, Stephanie.
We all know, yes. Anyway, I have to put a lamp together. And the fact that I'm like, oh, that'll be interesting this weekend. I suppose that's a slowed down pace, but I'm a little bit nervous. So if there's a blackout, you'll know it's me. And
I don't think you're going to take down the whole power grid, but I could be wrong.
Goals.
I was excited when I saw that lampshade because I thought maybe you had painted it yourself. Like that's something that the pandemic has allowed pace and space for you.
Yeah, but I'm like really hardcore about it, so it hasn't been slow. It's like paint all the things. quickly paint all the things.
Meanwhile, I have painted one wall, like this, like not even this wall behind me here is like this wall over here has been painted a year ago at the start of the pandemic. And then the other 3 walls are still waiting to be done. 3.5, I guess.
Yeah. And also my finger hurt after using the spray can because I was using the spray can thing for some little things that I made yellow. I know yellow has been my color of the pandemic.
I like it. I mean, it goes with.
I got the umbrella. It does. Yeah, I got the yellow umbrella, which actually, if IKEA hadn't been sold out, I might have gotten the orange couch.
It's funny because we picked, well, I guess you just tried like this like deep orangey yellow with the orange and the navy. And like my whole house is blue and orange. And I didn't really realize it until I was like, oh, this is serendipitous.
Nice. And I've somehow brought yellow into my life as a decor, not to wear, not clothing. I do not wear yellow as a color in clothing.
Does anyone
Wow.
watching have questions for us about pace, how you're feeling with pace? Is
About
it
Lance.
slowed down? Are you exhausted? Are you not exhausted? Are you feeling energized? We'd love to hear it. We're gonna probably wrap this up in a few minutes.
Any
But
painting tips you need?
I do love Iman is like, I didn't shave or wax any hair for the whole last year. So it was the perfect definition of a sloth, hairy, fat, and sleepy. I mean, embrace it is what I say.
Sloths are awesome. I could watch sloth videos, like they're so fun. Okay, have an amazing weekend, everybody. And hopefully, if you're not feeling rested from a slowed down pace, hopefully you get some breathing room and you actually use it wisely and breathe.
Yeah. And
Have an
just try
amazing
going with
one.
the flow.
Thanks for coming out and chatting with us. Love to see you.
Happy
Bye.
Friday. Happy weekend.
Bye.
Bye.